Kara.
Hey, Kira.
Good girl. She's tracking down rodents for us. That's her
Excellent.
job.
So other than rodents, what's going on this week?
Big job ahead. Very big job. All hands on deck for the changing of the plastic on the high tunnel. It's 88 feet long, 28 feet wide. It's a big hunk of plastic that we have to get up on the roof, unroll it, rip the old one down, the boards that hold it on, called hip boards, and then it's a big deal. And you really got to do it all at once because the plants are exposed and such while the cover is off. So you want to do it all in one shot.
So you're doing it today?
Doing it today. Yep. We have
Cool.
everybody here. We even brought in some outside help.
Oh, cool.
We brought a couple of ringers.
Very good. Well,
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay. Hey Wes, thanks for coming by. We're putting a new cover on the high tunnel today. It's a big deal. You need a lot of hands and guys who are good with tools. And that's what we're doing. So we've ripped off the old plastic. We've taken all the old wood off the sides that holds the plastic on, and you can see the new fresh wood, fresh lumber. And then we run aluminum channels down the end, and that allows us to connect the new plastic over the top. Got a lot of years out of it. It's only a 4-year plastic, and I had that one on for 10 years. So it was going to come off in the next good storm. So I figured it'd make more sense to do a planter like this. Unfortunately, I had some friends who wanted to come over and help and volunteer. So we're doing a great job here. The plastic, this plastic is a little bit more opaque than what I'm putting on. It's designed to kind of bounce the light around better, get the light on all the different sides of the plants, and to prevent the tunnel from overheating. So it doesn't, because sometimes the tunnel has wild swings where it gets really hot. And so this is to prevent that also, the new plastic that we're putting on, the new high-tech plastic. So this is cool. We'll get this done before the day's over. Yeah.
Do you have any idea the emissivity of that plastic?
Emissivity, it's a good word.
That's the word for how much light it lets through.
How much light?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is probably around 85%, I would say. But it blocks some light, but it does such a good job of bouncing the light around that the plants on, not just the plants on the south side of the plant, the north side, like here. This is the south side of the plant, and this is the north side of the plant. The south is that way. What it does is it bounces the light, so the light will come back in from the other side, so the plants get light from the whole direction, not just from the south. So you don't get any shades. You don't get any shadows in here, is what I guess I was trying to say with this plastic.
Cool.
So, should be good tomatoes, can't wait.
They look pretty happy.
They look very happy. They're gonna be very happy with the new plastic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And here we have Brian Adams up there dropping stuff.
Yes, trying to send screws into the aluminum channel so that we can affix the new plastic to the channel that I'm screwing.
Yeah.
So, hi, you're Grace Hilliard,
Yep.
and you work for Nick
Yes, correct.
at the Be Thankful Farm.
Yep.
And tell me about what do you do?
Well, I just got done planting some beans and some cucumbers. And before that, I picked some strawberries, which are really great. And yeah, I kind of just do some normal farm activities like planting, weeding, picking the crops, you know.
Cool. Nick sings your praises all the time. It sounds like it's hard work though.
Yeah, it is, especially when it gets hot.
Uh-huh.
Like in the middle of the summer, as it gets hotter, it gets harder.
But you like doing it?
Yeah,
How's it working for Mr. Nick?
great. He's so chill.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, and his wife Carol, she always makes us snacks. So that's great.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot.
All right, cover's on. It went very smoothly. Going without a hitch. It's on, it's nice and tight. Tomato plants. A lot bigger than the last time we took a peek at them. Right? They're already up, they've been pruned, and they're trellised. Sure. They've been pruned and trellised already, these plants. As you can see, it's called the
Oh, they're
basket
even
weed.
flower. This guy's even flowering
Yeah.
already.
Now stop for a second so I can show you the different type of plants. Like, see this plant? See this shade? It's a different color. and a kind of a long, lobed type leaf.
Yes.
And then this one's a different shape, different varieties. This really is a very old school variety with this type of leaf here.
What variety is that there?
This is the Brandywine. Yeah. But the pruning was done perfectly by my helpers, and this is how we grow them. Like it's basically a double plant. We prune up to the 2 stems, so we take all the suckers off from below the first flower cluster. You go up the plant, find that first flower cluster, and then keep the first sucker, keep that one, work your way down, remove every other sucker. That way you don't have a big bush at the bottom. We don't want that. We want a taller plant, and we prune it into that shape. So it's like a single and it becomes a double. So you get a lot of fruit up in here on your trellis. They'll grow right to here. We'll cut them off when they get any taller than this if they want to get higher to keep the ripening the fruit. We'll even take off fruit at some point, believe it or not, so that we can ripen lower fruit. So they
Excellent.
look good. They're looking very good. Here's the Jupiter pepper. Looks good on that side. Oh, while we're over here, see this little thing? This is a funny little plant. This is the eggplant plants, and they're really teeny tiny, and it looks weird because they're so far apart. Why would I? It looks like it's a really bad use of space in the tunnel, and I always want to make use of every spot, but they need every inch of this because they're going to have an incredible transformation once they really get going with this heat, and they can become enormous. And they produce a lot of eggplants continuous production. In the field, I can get 2, 3, sometimes 4 eggplant fruit per plant. In here, it's 15, 20 off of a good healthy plant out of here. They just keep making them. That'll be good. Okay, these are potatoes. These are potatoes. They just broke the surface. Let's take a quick look at them. They're gonna get a lot bigger. I have a big wide distance between them. Footage 6 feet about apart. A lot of people space them closer. I find you get better production per area if you keep those rows apart. The plants will get much bigger, so you'll get more potatoes in the bed. It works for us. There's a lot of soil here for mounding, which we'll be mounding these. And the irrigation, we hooked up this line, and we will run this every other day, certainly until it continues to rain, and we can get water to them and get some more growth. I want to show you this. All right, so during the heat waves, when we get non-stop temperatures in the 90s, it can wreak havoc, not just because of dryness, but just the amount of heat on certain plants that are sensitive to the tissues. The tissues are sensitive to the temperatures, and they can change the physiology of the plant. Getting hot, like lettuces, they want to bolt. They want to go to seed, and when they do that, the lettuce loses its quality. So you want to keep them out of that stage as long as possible. And we got this heat wave relatively early, so we put this unit up right here, and we've got these bows and this highly reflective crop cover. Purpose of this is to reflect the sun's radiation back up off of the crop. So it's not just blocking light, it's reflecting the radiation, because the radiation without this would strike the plants and heat the plants by becoming infrared, near infrared energy or heat. So by reflecting the radiation off the plant, you're also preventing it from getting hot. So that's how that works. It's also very well ventilated. So rain, if there used to be a thing called rain could go through this if it ever did. But when I irrigate anyway, the water will go right through it, go right into it. So it keeps the plants much cooler. We ran the sprinkler on this field, nonstop, every day, not nonstop, but many hours to keep the ground wet. And you can see there's moisture in it now, because we got a little rain, that helped too. But everything had to be kept wet in this field. Without irrigation, without that overhead irrigation, most of these crops really would have suffered badly, and the lettuce would have been gone, and a lot of this stuff would have burnt up. Certainly that spinach over there. But everything looks good though, because we get enough water on them. Radishes, see the crop progress? We got radishes here. The carrot bed's looking fine. It's filling in good. Carrot bed is really starting to fill in. Once they get the little tops, they'll get bigger now, so that's good. Here we got the beet bed, looks okay. We're a little uneven growth there in the beets. A little uneven, so we might have to do some top fertilizing and get some of these plants to size up. Now, but the bed filled in, there's a lot of plants, that's good. And we're ahead of the weeds, as you can see, in this field. And here are your beans. But the beans are looking big too. And they look nice and healthy. Not really little to no insect damage. And we've got, here's the flower bud. There it is, there's your first fruit. So here's your first green bean. Green beans and the yellow beans. See the littler plants? You can see how they're small, the yellow bean plants as you look up the row. The Russian kale, nice development. Finally outgrew the insects that were devouring it. It's a tough plant, and other than the loss of these lower leaves, these new leaves look great. And we'll keep water on everything, including these. So the red Russian kale looks awesome. And behind these, peeking their heads up, you can see the Swiss chard bed. Bright light Swiss chard bed also developing. Then we get some weeds in here to take out. And then we have our celery, which is also progressing nicely. Here's the mint. We have a lot of mint in the farm, but this is the real biggest area here. And you can see we just go right here, just harvest it right off. And, this is where we get it. It's really a happy plant, and we throw water on this too in here when we irrigate. So we'll have more of this for you too. And it comes back so quickly. It'll grow right back. We could harvest the same spot again at the end of the season. But there's still a lot more. Check this out. This is 100 pounds. We pulled off that hill. Hold on that. Can you get that for me? Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. Incredible.
Wow. Very nice.
Just pull them in.
They smell so good.
They smell so good, but there's a whole lot of them, and there's more coming. So we had last week we handed out 2 quarts for everybody, and now this week we'll have 2 more quarts, and plus, and that's what just stuff. They just keep coming. It's nice. Yeah.
So, wow, that's a lot of work. It really came out nice, though.
Well, I'll tell you, it did. It did. There's still a couple more things to finish off on it, but it's 98% there. So it was a great team effort. Everybody worked hard, and I'm very pleased with what we were able to accomplish today. It's going to make a big difference in the plant growth. We'll have better plant growth in there with our tomatoes this year with this new plastic, as good as it was. The plants
Cool.
very, very quickly. The plants are going to look really nice.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. That's great. So, I just wanted to point out that I like this version of our social distancing.
Okay.
And being able to talk the videos. So anyway, how's it been?
Oh well, it's the weather. It's the drought. We're in a drought and in the heat wave at the same time. So that's kind of a rough combination.
We were talking about that before, and
Yeah.
for some reason, it always associated droughts and heat waves together. But he was pointing out that they don't necessarily come together.
You could have a heat wave where you're getting thunderstorms all the time.
That's right.
Right. You could get a heat wave after you've just had a whole lot of rain, so the ground is saturated, and then you get into a hot wave, a heat wave. That could happen, and you can have droughts in the winter. It's the trifecta of the perfect storm for the hottest day, because the air temperature was 95. That's one. It was on June 20th, the longest day of the year where the sun was directly overhead, so they coincided, and it's also during a drought. So those three made for like the most inhospitable growing environment for a lot of the plants out there. That's quite a combination.
So you've been irrigating a lot.
Irrigating, overhead irrigation on the leafy crops, and then each field, it's nonstop, it's 24 hours a day now, where we just go from field to field, and we use the drip irrigation, as I've shown you, the drip tape, and I take my turns on the fields, and the blueberries as well.
So you leave it on overnight.
Blueberries get the water overnight, so I catch up their water. The blueberries started out a little small, smaller than they should have been, but already with the watering, I've done this now, I think 8 days to the blueberries, and they're going to grow anyway, but they look really nice. They're filling up, the little water balloons. So the blueberries are getting ready to go after we get these strawberries after you.
I just hope we get some rain.
Sooner or later, I have to get some rain. Irrigation will keep the crops alive, but for if you really want the best production, irrigation is no substitute for a one nice solid day of rain. But We'll see.
Anything in the forecast?
I don't know. I don't believe them anymore. They've broken my heart too many times already with the forecast. I'm assuming it's not going to ever rain again, and we're just going to keep irrigating. I keep my eye on the radar, weather radar, all the time, looking for it. There's been lots of pop-up storms that have gone right around Deerfield, and we've missed a lot of them. But we'll get our share sooner or later.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, happy growing.
Thank you.
See you next
All
time.
right. Take care.